Hello, everybody. Welcome. The first daily event that I've been able to get to in a while. We're going to be on the play, and I like this hand. We're playing against Jacksad. Oh, this is the guy that won the Mox, the Legacy Mox. So, yeah, I don't remember what he was playing, but obviously, if he won a Mox, he must be doing something right. Um, Looking at my hand. The debate is between going first turn top or keeping up swords, and I think I'm going to drop the top. There's no guarantee that it'll drop a creature into play. I am going to fetch the basic planes for that. But it also means that turn 2 I can play around days, which would be the problematic card. It also means that I can look with top if I do have to sword, so there are some reasons to and some reasons not to do certain things, and I think that playing top is the better choice there. What we're hoping from with this hand is we're actually hoping that he's playing Maverick. Yeah. This hand is very well suited to beat that deck, or at least it should be in theory. But he's not. I can definitely tell you he's not playing Maverick. Gonna go with Tess and Reanimator. Possibly Ant, yeah. But if he's taking that, there's a good possibility that that's not the case. Um, hmm. Well, he doesn't know that we have a basic forest. And if he's doing that, he may have Ghastly Demise in there. What's going on? You gonna force it or are you gonna daze it? Which one are you thinking about? Daze. Okay. So he's still on his first mana. We're now gonna look during our turn. Man. Reanimator's still a possibility. Um, Ant and Test not so much. They typically run Duress and whatnot, those types of spells. I figure this will keep up Bob. Um, this drops Mystic and the Pride Mage, but there's 4 Bobs, and none of those are Bob. But I will take that. Since he wants to play Resource Denial, let's play Resource Denial. I did not pay close enough attention to see if that was the same symbol, but there are ways that you can tell if your opponent's replaying the same land and whatnot. So let's see what he's got when when somebody's playing with his side. And do we get to see anything? Wow, we are not drawing very well. I'm going to keep the Savannah. Oops, don't need that stop. Always forget about the stops. Definitely taking that one next turn. So I do not care for the cards that I am being shown. And there is something to actually like waiting to see what your opponent does and things like that, but I'm impatient. I think that's a play for next turn. Although he could be the show and tell deck, so I might want to actually do this turn. Oh. I was thinking draw, then do everything else, but... So, yeah, our opponent is actually that deck. They do not have... This is going to be so bad. Our opponent does not have a show and tell or a way to really manipulate his library anymore. We have no clock on our opponent, which is the big thing. Let's see if there's some useful clock in here now. You have to remember he does have the days, so... Eesh. Next turn we'll have a shuffle effect, hopefully into more discard. Um, hopefully our opponent cannot go off this turn. That's a good one to have. So, weird science. It's been picking up a lot more. Some people have been finding ways to merge it actually with the sneak show builds, and I think that that's usually a pretty good way to do it. Like, that's where I'd say go for it. This is probably a Jace. Nope. Interesting. I haven't really seen black in these lists very often. What was there again? Oh yeah, nothing. There's like, I want the shuffle effect, but I don't want to get rid of the top. I'll take the shuffle effect next turn. We'll just drop the maze into play and watch him kind of poop on our face. Yeah, this is pretty much. I'm gonna go ahead and F6 here. If our opponent shows us a win condition, then yeah, that'll be a win condition. I'm not in the mood to F3 to stop my auto yield so that they can do that. Alright. For Petals of Insight, yeah, that'll do it for me. I have no interest in keeping going. GG? Yep. Our opponent asked if we were just going to GG, or if he was going to make us, or if we were going to make him go through it. I've seen it enough that I don't feel a need to. And if he gets us for not having one, then so be it. He probably has a Burning Wish. Or yeah, another Burning Wish in there and a Grape Shot or something. Or else he's got a Living Wish, and then he can go get the Emrakul. Alright, so game 2. Not a very good matchup for us right now. We're still not exactly set for it. That being said, it's still something that I want to have some game against. And in this case, we have 9 cards that are just flat out dead. I think that last card's gonna have to be one of these. I mean, well, I guess technically I'm gonna drop the Ooze. It's a threat, but I mean, I can at least look with this on the first turn and do stuff with it as the game progresses on to try and keep the things under control. Whereas with the Ooze, like, I'm not going to be hitting his graveyard. There's nothing in there outside of with extractions that I really care too much about. So, yeah, here we go. Yes, I'd like to play first, and I am going to keep this card, so would you like to mulligan to 6? No. One thing that does suck, I do not have a Forest or Plains, so if he goes first turn like Emrakul, I am hoping that this Bob is going to get there. And he's F6, so we get our Bob. And now we're F6, so he can do whatever he really wants to. Which is Ponder. Thalia does have an interesting interaction with this deck. They do have to pay 1 for any non-creature spell. So, Omniscience, even though Thalia adds to the cost, it's a tax to the cost, not an actual, like, that's funny deck. That's very, very funny. Good thing I have Birds of Paradise. I should probably play around Days and get the Forest or Plains for the night. So if he show and tells and he doesn't drop the Omniscience into play, nope, not this turn, not unless he's playing Petals, then we can drop the Knight into play, bounce whatever he's doing, and aim at the show and tells if he tries to draw cards with Gristlebrand. Oh my. Well, that's probably going to name Caracas. So I'm willing to bet he's got it in hand. Knight of the Reliquary. It's just as good. So, let's see. I can aim at that. Sure, let's see what's going on. Let's just toss that down. Sweet. Let's see if he's got a daze. Nope. So what we're worried about is Omniscience at this point. Still. I'm going to let Bob do his thing and then I'll look. So I do want to stop there. Bob shows Thalia. Alright, so birds, choke, knight. I'm going to try and land the Thalia. That being said, I want the bird. I'll take 3 from the Bob. If anything's going to get me, it's not going to be the damage from Bob. Hit swings will be very well done. Step 1. Let's try and get this down now. This at least means that if he tries something, we can do stuff to it first. There's a brainstorm. This deck's big thing is that it relies on having, like, to reliably beat us. What this deck needs is to basically have the Omniscience, because at any point in time that he drops just Emrakul or just Griselbrand into play, well, Griselbrand's a different deal because he gets to draw a ton of cards, but if we have the Caracas or if we have the Knight of the Reliquary, both of those are trumps to his stuff. Nobody's really been adapting in playing other things. Like, could you imagine Omniscience along Tidespout Tyrant? Brainstorm, Ponder. Like, eventually, the deck does nothing but filter. So, yay, she hit. That means that'll go. And I missed a point of damage. So, the only thing that sucks at this point is that we can't do this. But we should be able to take care of that next turn. It'll cost 1 more. 5 for Jace. Okay. So, let's see. We can kill Jace. We can hardcast Knight at that point. I get to choke him. I think I like choking him the most. I don't know about you guys. Just my thoughts. Yeah, I'll do it again afterwards. And this time I'll set it up so that I'm not taking a billion damage. So, let's see. Actually, yeah, that should end the game. So our opponent was nice to us and realized that, hey, look, the game is over as well. Like I said, or like I was getting at, they need the Omniscience. So if you can get that out of their deck, yay. If you can take the Show and Tells, even better. With the exception of they have a Show and Tell on the board. So if you can get the Omnisciences, take them. Don't worry about it. I screwed up the last time I played against this deck by taking the Show and Tell and then he wished for one. Good old top deck Burning Wish. Yeah, sometimes. Now that I'm thinking about it, trying to think, was there anything that I wanted to swap there? I get into my rants, and it's like, the rest of the world stops. This is also one of those things that's pretty good against him. It is no O-Ring. The good thing about O-Ring is it comes into play, they drop their thing into play, and you pretty much hit them. But what it is if you have a mana up, you can make it so that they can only play one spell for free off Omniscience. So that's just a thought, something to think about. And we're going to try and thought seize him. He'll probably have the Force or the Daze. Uh, the next turn, we're going to try and land this. And the turn after that, we'll see. Oh. It's like, why is it asking me if I want to stop there? So, well, um, small change of plan. We're going to go for the top next turn. And if we can find something there, we'll go for that. And by something there, I mean if we can find somebody help me out here with names. Surgical extraction. Ha! Look at that. And we want the show and tells. And he laughs. Oh my god. Wait, I thought he. Oh yeah, he personal tutored for one. That's right. Okay, so next turn we're looking at choking him, provided he doesn't do something else. And then after that, we're kind of on our own. I'm happy we shuffled. So, yeah, because if he wants to Burning Wish, he may have drawn the Force, but I'd rather get this down now. I mean, Force isn't an issue. Sorry. What I was thinking of is the other card. Don't even know my names anymore. Burning Wish. Daze. There we go. Daze. Burning Wish is the card I'm worried about. Daze is the card I'm thinking of. But we're not out of this yet. Keep that in mind. He still has the Omniscience in hand. He still has Burning Wishes. And I'm trying to think. I'm sorry, my opponent. Yeah, he drew dead. So, ouch. I'll give him a sad face for that one. And he left before I sent it. Yeah. It's just a race to find out if they can get the show and tell, because they only have the show and tell to get this into play. If they hard cast this on me, which almost happened once, my very first time playing against this deck, actually. I don't give this deck much respect because it does rely on just show and tell, whereas like the sneak attack versions have more than just one way to get stuff in. Personal tutor is a nice touch; it'll allow you to get stuff, but it does suffer from the extraction aspect. Where, I mean, even if, excuse me, if he had personal tutored and there wasn't a show and tell in there, I could have taken the personal tutors and that would have reshuffled his library. So it's like back to square one. He basically tapped a land, discarded a card, and that was it. Um, Either way, on camera now, I'm 1-3 against this deck, so just something to take into consideration. I don't think that it's a great matchup, but I do think that it's better than most of the other combo decks, the non-show and tell versions. Belcher is a much worse matchup. Tess is a much worse matchup. This, I think, is the best now of the different show and tell decks because it's a turn faster than the rest. With the exception of Hive Mind, that is super fragile to people messing with your hand and also requires a ton of other things. Um, all in all, I would say this deck is going to be something for a while. And I've heard people requesting to have show and tell banned and talking about how show and tell is going to be the next thing banned. And I don't think that's correct. I think that if they should ban anything, it should just be Omniscience. The format is fine where it is. And show and tell being a $50 card is the only problem that I see. And the only reason it is $50 is because there are tons of different ways to abuse what it can do, and it will only get worse. But I don't think that if they're going to ban anything, that they should do it for at least a year. People don't like adapting their decks, and that causes a lot of strain. So force them to make people adapt. People didn't want to play off color removal when Iona got printed and Reanimator was using her left and right. Why not? If you can find a way to deal with it, deal with it. But that is round one. We are 1-0, and we will be back. Hope you all had a good time. I will cut my rant short there. All right, bye bye.